Hello, my name is Keith, and these are my stamps. Episode 32, Bangladesh. Bangladesh is in South Asia on the Bay of Bengal. And Bengal, a bit of a theme here because the name Bangladesh, the Bangla part means Bengal. The Desh comes from the Sanskrit for country. So Bangladesh means the country or the land of Bengal. Bangladesh is almost entirely surrounded by India, with a small border with Myanmar. You'll note that the Indian province that borders Bangladesh is called West Bengal, which will come up later. Most of Bangladesh is dominated by the Ganges River Delta. The area is 144,000 square kilometres, 57,320 square miles, which is similar to Illinois or roughly the size of Wales and England combined. The population, though, is 175.5 million, which is the eighth largest in the world, which is about 3 times the population of England and Wales, or 14 times the population of Illinois, despite being the same size. The official language is Bengali, the capital Dhaka. The history of Bangladesh features a succession of Hindu and Buddhist kingdoms and empires until the Islamic conquest of 1204, led by Bakhtiar Khilji, who annexed the area for the Delhi Sultanate, who I'm sure you'll remember from the Bahawalpur episode when you were taking notes. After a century of rule by the Delhi Sultanate, an independent Bengal Sultanate was established in 1341. By the 17th century, the area was controlled by the Mughal Empire, who established Dhaka as a fort city and a commercial metropolis, and the province became wealthy with some of the best standards of living in the world at the time. By the way, the area much larger than present-day Bangladesh. In the early 1700s, the Mughal Empire declined and it became a semi-independent state. In 1757, at the Battle of Plassey, the British East India Company conquered Bengal, and in doing so, claimed the first region in the Indian subcontinent. Formed the presidency of Fort William, which later became Calcutta, which administered the region until 1858. The so-called Bengal Presidency of British India was the largest of the provinces and covered land that's now Bangladesh and a lot of it in India. 1770, the Great Bengal Famine, coupled with the use of Bengal by Britain to fuel the Industrial Revolution, led to widespread deaths and an extraordinary capital flight. Growing tensions between the wealthy Hindu landowners and the Muslim majority led to several reorganizations of the province in the early 1900s, leading to Assam being separated from Bengal. There was continued unrest between the Hindus and the Muslims, and continued unrest against British rule, and all of this led to the formation of several political parties, and finally, the partition of India in 1947. Within the partition of India, the province of Bengal was also split, with West Bengal joining India, as you'll have noticed on the map, and East Bengal, which would become Bangladesh, joining Pakistan. This led to massive population movements. A lot of Hindus from East Bengal moving into West Bengal, which would now be in India, and Muslims moving from India into East Bengal, which would become Bangladesh. Although the movements and the population issues weren't as violent as they were in the Punjab on the India-Pakistan border, or the new India and Pakistan border, there were still lots of problems. In 1956, East Bengal was renamed East Pakistan. In 1958, Pakistan imposed martial law. There was cultural, ethnic, and linguistic discrimination against East Pakistan, and it led to mass uprisings in 1969. Bangladesh declared its independence in March of 1971. West Pakistan responded by launching Operation Searchlight, which was an effort to curb East Bengal's nationalist movement. This in turn led to the Bangladeshi genocide, where up to 3 million people were killed, amongst many, many other atrocities. Finally, with India's help and support, in December of 1971, Pakistan surrendered and Bangladesh was independent. However, this was not the end of Bangladesh's problems. Their first head of government was assassinated, the second was ousted in a coup, the fourth was assassinated, the fifth was deposed by a coup. It's kind of like Henry VIII's wives. However, in 1991, democracy was restored and things have been relatively calm since then. The stamp issuing history. In those early months of 1971, Pakistani stamps overprinted Bangladesh were issued, but from 1971 onwards until the present day, stamps inscribed Bangladesh have been released. The currency, again, in 1971 for a few months, continued with the Pakistani 100 paisa making 1 rupee, until in 1972, 100 paisa became 1 taka. This is the first earliest stamp I have from Bangladesh from 1972, the first anniversary of independence, showing the flames of independence. And they were still using the Pakistani paisa at this stage, 75p. Although you can't really tell the difference when the change happened just by looking at the stamps. These are also paisa, but these are now the Bangladeshi paisa. This is from 1973, a definitive series. And that same definitive series was overprinted service for official use. 1974, the first population census, and they had a lot to count. From the same definitive series as before, this one is from 1974. The original in 1973 had TA as the denomination marker for taka. Here in this new one, it's in Bengali. 1976 was the reissue of the definitive series, but now in a smaller size, and again with the service overprints. And here are 4 examples. The top 2 from 1973, one of them, of course, overprinted, and the same at the bottom, the smaller versions from 1976. One of the few commemorative stamps that I have, this one is from 1978, from a series of flowering plants. This is the flame of the forest tree, a tree that comes actually from in and around the area of Bengal. And it's used for timber, resin, fodder, medicine, dyes, all kinds of things. A second definitive series, or I was hesitating there because I'm not sure whether the small version counts as a different definitive series. Anyhow, this is another definitive series from between 1978 and 1982. I've written the dates that each of the stamps was released there on the slide. The earliest of them is the one, the light blue in the top row, the 10 paisa, which shows a fertilizer factory. And the last one in 1982 on that same top row on the right, showing the boat carrying jute. A further definitive series from 1983. This is postal communications, and also at the bottom you can see service overprints. And you'll note that the service here is written in English. A couple more commemoratives. It looks as if I've put these in the wrong order, with the 1 taka on the left and the 25 paisa on the right. However, although they are both from the World Health Day, the one on the left is from World Health Day 1987, and the one on the right, World Health Day 1988. For the 20th anniversary of independence in 1991, this set was issued. And here is one of those postal communication sets from 1983, this time over printed service in Bengali. And this one was released in 1996. Finally, the most recent stamp I have from Bangladesh is this one from 2002. It was released for Fish Fortnight, which I have been unable to find out anything. However, this particular fish is a Curia labio, a type of carp that can grow up to 1.5 meters long, which is about 5 foot. And it spawns during the monsoons of July and August, so I guess they're getting ready for that. By the way, if you'll notice at the bottom right, it looks like the number 8, which kind of you might think, oh, 4 plus 4 because there are two blue 4s, but there's also a what looks like a red 8 in the top left as well. It isn't an 8, it's the Bengali digit for 4. So these are my stamps. I'm Keith. Goodbye.